What do you care if employees accept their RSU awards? In this video, I'm going to talk about common practices for RSU acceptance, including why companies require acceptance and how they enforce those requirements. Overwhelmingly, companies that grant RSUs require employees to actively accept those awards. And by active acceptance, what I mean is that the employee goes to a web portal somewhere that has their grant agreement, and they have to digitally sign that agreement, or they have to click a button that says, yes, I agree to the terms of this award. There are more passive approaches that you can take to award acceptance. For example, you could use negative consent, where you assume that if the employee doesn't decline the award, well, then they must have accepted the terms of the award. Or you could assume that if the employee accepts the shares upon vesting, that means they also accept the terms of the award. Most companies, however, want employees to actively accept their awards because it takes 2 signatures to make a valid contract. If you get into a dispute over the terms of the award and the employee hasn't actively signed the award agreement, you have no way to prove that the employee knew that by not declining the award, they were actually agreeing to the terms and conditions of the award. And RSUs can be worth a lot of money. That active signature is proof that the employee understood the terms of the award. And having that proof is key to being able to enforce those terms. And it means that it protects the company in the event that you end up in a dispute. If you end up in court over the award, the employee can't say, whoa, I didn't know about this. Because right there, you have a signature from the employee saying that they did know about it. So let's say you've decided you want employees to actively accept their awards. Well, how do you really enforce that requirement? What a lot of companies do is follow up, just a lot of follow up. You email the employee until they either accept or decline the award. In addition to email, you might actually start phoning some employees, maybe send some text messages. You might have a web portal that the employee can log into, and there might be notifications through that portal that they haven't accepted the award. You might even get other people involved. Maybe you reach out to the employee's manager and say, hey, so-and-so hasn't accepted their award agreement. Can you talk to them about that? I sometimes call this the harassment approach. You just harass your employees about their awards until they either accept them or they decline them. Another approach is to restrict access to their shares. So in this approach, once the award has vested, the employee can't sell the shares until they have accepted their grant agreement. And if the employee wants to sell the shares at vest, this can be very effective to getting that signature. But if employees aren't in a hurry to sell their shares, this approach is a little bit less effective. And depending on how you structure this, there can be some significant 409A concerns to this approach. So you're going to want to consult your tax advisors before you implement this policy. My third approach, and probably the least popular, but by no means unheard of, is for companies to actually cancel the awards if they aren't accepted within a specified time period. So maybe the employee has 60 to 90 days, or some companies will give employees all the way out until their first vesting date. But if the award isn't accepted within that time period, then it's canceled and the employee loses the right to it. This can be very effective. And it means that there's an endpoint where if the employee hasn't accepted the award, you cancel it and you don't have to worry about it anymore. But if you want to use this approach, you really have to be prepared to enforce it consistently. If you cancel some awards and not others, you can end up with a policy that's not enforceable in any circumstances. So that is my quick hit on RSU acceptance. You probably have some more questions. And guess what? We've got more answers. We'll include a link to additional resources in the show notes. I hope you enjoyed my video today. If you did, hey, why not share it on LinkedIn? Maybe some of your colleagues would enjoy it as well. And those shares really help us out. Win-win. Thanks for watching.